Hello guys, welcome sa atong channel. So karon tight ang atong oras pero doesn't mean nga dito mag-exercise. Guys. So karon 30 minutes. So make sure nga kuha na to ang atong goal gihapon. Muna. So akong buhaton guys, walking incline 12. Yang speed na to mabuta og 2.5 to 3. So unsa man na siya guys kining burning calories. So let's go. So paspas na to gamay atong lakaw. Here we go. So as you can see guys, ang akong attire lahi sad, diba? Kay snowstorm ron diri sa hamoa. Mo kuha pa gyud ko sa akong anak nga dalaga sa iyang work. So gamay ra gyud kay akong time ani. But anyways, tomorrow morning kay snowstorm man kasi akong workout. Kay snowstorm ron diri sa hamoa. Mo kuha. Okay. Lao, 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 lao. Minaw sa tag chismis ka sa pero basketball. Hindi na mga chismis mga ayo.
We've got breaking news on new Laker Alex Len, his contract, an important detail here that sets up the next move for the Lakers. I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Lakers Nation YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe right here. That guy over there, that's Keith Smith. This is not the front office show. Keith being kind enough to grace us with his presence here on Lakers Nation and give us a really important detail here on Alex Len.
Yeah, really, we were wondering. We knew Alex Len's signing was done. The Lakers had announced it, but they don't tell you the terms, right? Every once in a while I find out it's a 10-day deal, but we knew it wasn't that. So what we wanted to know is how did the Lakers sign Alex Len? There are only two options. They're going to use a prorated portion of their taxpayer mid-level exception, or they would have used the veteran minimum exception. Major ramifications which way. They chose to give him a prorated minimum. That is the common type of signing at this type of year. But why is that important for the Lakers? Well, they're dealing with the second apron hard cap. They didn't have a lot of room underneath it, about $1.6 million or so. So now, by getting Alex Len on a prorated minimum, you see it on the screen there if you're watching, about $744K.
Wow.
That leaves the Lakers with enough room, if they want to, if they need to bring in another player on a prorated veteran minimum contract. They prorate about $11,000 per day is the proration, so about $730,000. Then it'd be down, just keep knocking it down. Here we go. But they have enough room there. Anybody that they would waive, at this point, very likely, probably can't Reddish, just because he only got not really playing a role for them at the moment. That money's guaranteed. That stays on the books. But the Lakers, I'm taking the veteran minimum versus saying, hey, I know you're kind of stuck for a cent. Give me, what's the prorated version of the non-taxpayer, and I'll eat up all your flexibility left. You lack flexibility on the board for the Lakers to make future moves to make.
Yeah, and this could wind up being fairly big for the Lakers. Again, this sets up another move for them. I talked about this situation on the LakersNation.com podcast that went out this morning and why this was so critical. But as Keith explained, by Alex Len coming in at this $740,000 and change here, what that means is underneath that second tier apron, they now have that flexibility to make that next move. Now, what could that next move be? Again, had they used their taxpayer mid-level to give Len, say, $1.5 billion, which they could have, then they would have no flexibility here. Now they can make another move. Perhaps they waive Cam Reddish. What would they do with that roster spot? Well, they could do a number of things. They could go add somebody. Perhaps there's a free agent that's out there that they like. Who knows? Maybe it is our old friend Dwight Howard. I would not expect it, but they could go add somebody out there on the market that is currently a free agent. Another thing they could do is they could wait and see what happens here on the buyout market over the next few weeks. Perhaps it's possible somebody gets bought out that they weren't expecting. Now remember, the Lakers, as a first-year infant team, they can't sign anybody who
So guys, here,
that was making more than
12.5
which is
ang inclination. So,
and change.
mo ni
they have to
maka
make less than that
burn.
in order for the Lakers to be eligible to sign that player. But maybe somebody pops up on the buyout market. Another thing they could do, and I know a lot of people have been asking me, can they keep Jordan Goodwin? He looked excellent in his 2 games so far with the Lakers. We'll see if he continues that. But could they keep Jordan Goodwin? Could they keep Trey Jefferson, Christian Kolonka? What about those guys? Yes, you could use a roster spot if you were to waive, let's say, Cam Reddish, maybe it's Shake Milton, could be Marquise Morris, someone like that. Bronny, I don't think they'd be waiving him, but they could use that open spot if they waive somebody else to give Goodwin, Jefferson, or Koloko a full roster spot and thus allow them to be playoff eligible. So that's another option. Again, free pass, sign someone who's a free agent right now, wait until somebody else gets bought out. Maybe there's a surprise on the market. And then number 3 would be to promote one of your two-way players, and that's if they decide that they're going to waive somebody else and then make use of the flexibility that they have. So, Keith, I know, grand scheme of things, NBA-wise, these were all fairly minor moves and things like that. But for Lakers fans, especially who have seen what Jordan Goodwin has done lately, they're excited about him. This gives you the opportunity to potentially bump up one of those guys to a spot, maybe sign somebody in free agency. This means that you can add another piece to this team. And right now, you know, we'll take any addition we can get as the Lakers look to really load up here for the postseason.
100%. I always say minor move is only minor. If you're not involved in it, or until it isn't. And every once in a while, one of these ones turns into something big. They pops, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, now we've got this guy on this really nice team-friendly contract. You only need to look at the Memphis Grizzlies with guys like Vince Williams, G.G. Jackson,
Yes.
who are going to be key rotation guys that were late-season bump-ups from two-way contracts. Sometimes they pop, and that's how it goes, and you move forward. I'll throw one more less likely but possible option into the mix. Here, they still have the, because they're still sitting on the non-taxpayer, they still have the ability to outspend a little bit towards a contract and stay under, because they could go a little higher than the prorated veteran minimum. That's probably not very likely. And then the last option, this one's maybe a little bit more likely. They could play kind of the 10-day game for a little bit. If they had a need pop up, let's say all of a sudden, man, we really need a point guard in the mix very quickly here. And we can go get Alfred Payton going to pop off the Hornets roster any moment here. So we're just going to bring Alfred Payton for 10 days because we really need another ball here. You could do something like that. Again, because you have to wait an additional 10 days to sign somebody for a full season prorated that minimum. But you still have that option. So those are all things that the Lakers can do. This is, again, to your point, these are all back-end roster-type moves. Maybe they don't matter, but maybe they do end up mattering. And I would really keep an eye on the two-way conversion because that could be a real good way. These could be very, very expensive moving forward. That's a nice way to add cost-controlled, team-friendly contracts on the back end of your roster for guys that can add.
Well, and I discussed that a little bit on the podcast about how they could do that with, and specifically we're looking at Jordan Goodwin, but like if you are the Lakers and you were getting deeper into February, you're not 100% sure what you've got in Jordan Goodwin, but you know you want to kind of give him a bump here and there's a decent chance you want to keep him long term. You know, maybe you do sign him to a 10-day contract and then a second 10-day and then give him the bump up so you maintain some of that flexibility. Also something you can do. And you're right, you can play the 10-day contract. Remember, once you sign 2 10-day contracts, the team has to make decisions. They've got to either sign you to a full contract or let you go. But that's the game they can play. They actually did that with Stanley Johnson a few years back, who actually just rejoined the South Bay Lakers.
Yes.
Good for Stanley, but they did that with Stanley Johnson years ago. They had him on a couple of 10-day contracts and then promoted him to a full roster spot. Now, Keith, let's say they do decide, whether it's Jordan Goodwin or Jemison or Christian Coloco, they do decide to promote one of these two-way players and give them a full contract. What would the details of that contract look like? Like, how much team control should they put into that? Because I know this is a way that you can wind up with a fairly team-friendly contract when you're able to get a guy like this that's kind of a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways you can handle this if you're the Lakers. So Jordan Goodwin's this one's a little bit tricky because he's already got 3 years of service. This is his 4th year of service. So that means he is not eligible for restricted free agency after this season. That's only for players with less than 4 years of service. So what you would see with Jordan Goodwin would be very likely a 2-year minimum signing. So prorated for the rest of this year. Then they give him, they give him some money into next year and off we go. With that probably a life guarantee on that, something along those lines. With Jemison or Coloco, if they were to go that direction, Jemison probably less likely, because they already have him under contract for next year on a 2-way. But if they were like, man, we need him for the playoffs, which 2-way players are not eligible for the postseason, maybe they go that direction with him. But with Coloco, the option there could be you give him a prorated minimum for the rest of this year. Next year would also be a minimum. But then you put a team option on it. What that allows you to do is find that team option, make the player a restricted free agent, then you can get them signed longer term. The Golden State Warriors, as an example, just did this with Quentin Post, who's turned into a rotation player as a 2-way guy for them. They converted him to a 2-year minimum standard deal. Second year is the team option. And what they're going to do is they're going to decline that this summer. Then they'll sign him using his non-bird rights to a 4-year contract, very likely, maybe only 3, but it'll be 3 or 4-year deal that they'll use to sign him to, and then they'll have him long term that way. That is a path for the Lakers with Jemison or Coloco. It just can't be done with Goodwin because of what his years of service status is, but you could still get him locked in for next year as well. And at that point, you're probably okay with that.
Right. Yeah, you can get him set up for next year, and we'll see if Jordan Goodwin continues to play as well as he has over the last couple of games. Hopefully he does. It's been a fun story. But, again, this was the big news. Alex Len taking that veteran minimum, not zipping into that taxpayer MLE, and that, again, will allow the Lakers to set up another move here, whether it's Jordan Goodwin or something else. Keith, thanks so much for jumping on over here, man. We appreciate it. Always appreciate your cap expertise.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
And guys, make sure you go find Keith and myself over on the Front Office Show. You can find the link in the description down below. We covered the entire NBA there, so go check that out.
Uphill, guys, 12.5. Grabe. Whew. Whew. So 15 minutes.
When you play with OLG,
Yes.
We had the Lakers debut. It's in the books, and tonight we get another look at the Lakers' new lineup as they take on the Jazz again. This time, though, it's in Utah. Dave McMenamin is in Utah joining us now. Dave, the Lakers, they were rolling before Luka got there, and they looked just as strong with him in the mix. So what is the plan for Doncic tonight in Salt Lake?
Yeah, Malik, a couple of hours ago, he was upgraded to probable by the Lakers, and so JJ Redick, as he told us the other day, he anticipated to have both Luka and LeBron in the lineup again before the All-Star break begins. Luka's at around a 30-minute restriction, I'm told, and he only played 24 minutes in his debut because it was such a blowout, but that will give him enough time to continue to get acquiesced with his teammates. JJ Redick's big compliment for both Luka and the rest of his guys on Monday was the fact that they played, quote, agenda-free basketball. He loved that it wasn't Luka trying to get his numbers, LeBron wasn't trying to get numbers, AR wasn't coming off a career-high 45 and trying to get 40 again. It was finding moving the ball to an open man, playing hard defense, playing as a team. And if they do that, they're going to feel good about themselves with another win. Would be their 13th in 15 games against the All-Star break.
Yeah, Lucas said all of his nerves, he just sort of melted away when he stepped between the lines. Then he was like, okay, this is familiar, being back on the floor, and it sounds like we're going to get to see him again tonight. Dave, thank you so very much. There are even more matchups, though, to keep an eye on across the association. All 30 teams playing some key matchups at West. Grizzlies taking on the Clippers. That's an Intuit Dome. Or All-Stars Jaren Jackson Jr., James Harden. They will be in action in this one. And then fresh off making history, Kevin Durant and the Suns headed to H-Town to take on the Rockets. We've hit a bit of a skid there. Both teams looking to head to the All-Star break with a little bit of momentum for a late season run. Uphill battle here for the Suns, though, without Bradley Beal, and it's not looking good for Devin Booker either. Back east, Trae Young returns to his favorite arena to torment Madison Square Garden. The Knicks will be waiting, though, looking for some get back after their NBA Cup loss earlier this season. And then another big matchup between All-Stars, the Bucks and the Wolves. Damian Lillard, Anthony Edwards, they're going to squabble up in a clash of top 10 three-point shooters this season. For more on Ant, let's hand it over to Kendrick Perkins.
This is my camera.
That's going to be your camera.
Stand on business, stand on business. Hell yeah, we're standing on business today. That is on business. That's right. Ant-Man, the last couple games, last 3 games, he been giving people 40-piece wing dinners all flat, Albadera style. This year, averaging a career high 27 points per game, 5th in the league in scoring. Ant-Man has risen to the occasion, 2nd in the league at 3-point field goals made behind Steph Curry. The question is, does he have enough? He don't care who's around him. Damn it could be Malika, it could be Sinead. You get the perk. He's going to go out there and get that work. He's been handling business, standing on business, the Ant-Man himself. Hey, look, no Corey Anthony Towns, no problem from the individual basis, but he's still a young group. Russ, James Harden, KD. And the coach, now the head coach, my guy for the Washington Wizards, Brian Keefe, was an assistant to Scott Brooks, and he was KD guy for us putting him through training. And even after back-to-back, I used to watch KD, 3-man traveling, taking bad shots. Well, we thought was bad shots, but those real game shots for him. And so, you used to watch, we used to land in cities and watch him, have middle schools and high school gyms already set for him to go and play gym rat. And I remember KG calling me after I got traded, like, hey, look at that young fella like that. And I'm like, he wasn't going to be no ass. Talk like it's nothing bad that you can say about KD. So when you see these results, and these accolades, and him reaching 30K, it don't surprise me at all. I saw it behind the scenes.
And that's playing with him. I imagine playing against him. That is not players' task.
Oh my God. In the 2012 finals, it was like 50 points. And we understood that. We weren't going to beat these guys that was just outplaying. We had to outsmart them. So plus it was trap games coming off the pick and roll. It was slipping work. And I was like, we knew we could not stop him if he wanted to go for 50, but we really had to take it away.
Yeah, what is it? Roses, lilies, hydrangea, orchids. Kevin Durant is trying to give you your well-deserved career average at 27 points per game, like 6th highest in NBA history. He really broke the mold of what a pure core team is. His favorite player, you can say, I'm going to show this, not on that game, but those guys are very big on but as a second for he broke the narrative. And has tremendous guard skills on top of this sheer consistency at the score. I know everyone knows him by the social media, easy by the second. That is literally what he is. And we're so serious when it comes to game inspecting, right? He is a lot of fans' favorite people. He's a lot of players' favorite people. We saw him Edwards and KD that moment we got in the playoffs last year because so many people idolize him, so many people respect him. And what I love about Kevin Durant, as we give you your lines, is that he gives flowers to everyone else. It's not just for other female women hoopers, like to me, it just spoke volumes to who he is. And he said that, especially when you're coming, he said, he said it's so like he sort of used the move to make the outsider.
you could see how much that meant to Kevin Durant. But Kevin Durant's also the ultimate winner, right? And you would have rather walked away from that game with the W. It feels a little bit like a microcosm of the Suns season here, because the Memphis Grizzlies, they have been sneaking up in the Western Conference standings. They're second in the West, but it feels like they're flying a little under the radar, right? The Grizzlies lead the NBA in scoring over 123 points a night, despite running the fewest pick and rolls in the league. A major change from the years past. And that change in philosophy has led to improved ball movement, right? An area that Taylor Jenkins and company they've really focused on here. The Grizzlies are second in the league in assists behind only the Nuggets this season. But, Udi, I know this is important to you, the grit and grind spirit still alive within this group defensively. Memphis leads the NBA in rebounding and is top 10 in blocks, steals, and defensive rating. It plays like a team that has UUD written all over it. You know rings. You said that's what you come to talk about on this show, is getting rings. So what do you think? How far away is Memphis from that championship?
First, I just gotta give a shout out to Tony Allen Zebo. It reminded me of the old school Brown House when you go into Memphis and you had to face them dogs. Yeah, you remember them dogs? I had them dogs. And shout out to them too, because they got a dope. I look at this team, and the thing that's exciting about this team, it kind of reminds me of Dallas last year. You can play lightning in the ball at the right time and push it all the way to the corner. I'm looking at that like David Blaine, who got a lot of experience last year. Job being out on a lot of those games. And finally, in the playoffs, the coach is going to win you one. The star is going to win you two. And you're going to need those other guys to get you one in the world. And that's when Desmond Bain, G.P. Jackson, and all these other guys come into play. And that's what I'm looking for them to be able to do. If they can get to the I wasn't kind of fun to do.
You know what's crazy? This is a team that made a lot of noise 2 years ago. We've had moments where you were welcoming everybody to the dark side, but I think they like flying under the radar. They have a chip on their shoulder this year, and I think honestly, this team goes beyond those John Morant. They go as Jared Jackson Jr. goes. We talk about this as a team that is leading the league in scoring. He leads the team that leads the league in scoring. 23 career year. And especially given that this year, I feel like we saw the subliminals of the Anthony Davis trade is realizing the value of bigs in the West. Having a big is a separator. That's why what we see is very high checks. That's why the Lakers have concerns about what they can do. Absolutely, and they have someone that has capabilities on the defensive end, but also playing with that offense alongside one of the most electric players in basketball, John Morant. That's just the point, guys. I think they might flying under the radar.
I don't think they're a legit championship contender right now, and that's okay because for the Memphis Grizzlies, this season wasn't about championship for them. This was about them getting their coaching right over the last year and a half. They were drowning, right, because of off the court things. We know things was going on with John Morant. Now all of a sudden they get their life jacket back and they're doing things the right way. They got their identity back because if you look at their roster, yes, you know they got Jared Jackson Jr., John Desmond Bain, but the young fellas that they're allowing to grow, Scottie Pippen Jr., G.G. Jackson, the kid Wells, Zach Edey, and Alindog. So they're a year or two away from actually going and trying to go complete the mission, but they're in the right position. They just needed to get their field back and get back above water, and that's what they are.
But they don't want to be a silver sword. Jared Jackson Jr., he told me, what is a successful season for them this year? And he said it's a championship. Plain and simple. They felt like they were there to forget what happened here. 8 seconds left. 6 is down 2. He wants to work game right here. He is wide open, off to drive. To be fair, we've seen him successfully take advantage of it before, but he ends up turning it over. So, Cook, what do you see on this play? What happened was
well, look, Tyrese Maxey set the table for him. You two defenders had him wide open through. Look at the fans in the stands. Jesus married a joke when he was supposed to take that shot. He tried to drive the traffic and got the turn over. You did, I don't know if it's ready. Was it a lack of confidence? I didn't get a good minute. You're not going to get a better shot than that shot every time. Most of the time, we turn down better shots than we turn down better shots than we turn down. Where is he going? Where is he going? And I just... Most of the time, it gets to the point I think right now, Joel and Embiid is bad. Like, we heard the reports, there was the last weekend about, him and knee surgery, and here we are again. Another year. I'm talking about another year. He needs to shut it down. There are, what, 1,000 games?
13.
13 games below 500? Put a plan in place. Because what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Here's my question. Are you gonna let him ride out through the rest of the season? Did him have surgery and then we back to this place again next training?
No, I'm right there with you there. Guess what? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on me. So you started last year around this time.
January, you remember January the 31st of last year.
I think it was coming some because it was the summer of the Olympics and you have an opportunity to get gold and that's what he was pursuing. But you're right. You said they need a plan. Their insurance policy fits. In the sense of getting Paul George, having Titus Max, and knowing that they're going to be days worth without. Starting out the season with only maybe one for the first 4 days of the games available, puts you on a hold. And now when you're trying to play halfway, and you're not fully healthy, that really puts you in a second place.
And shutting down for the season and having surgery, that's just the beginning. That's the easy part. The hard part is he going to commit to the rehab? Is he going to commit to being his best version?
I feel like he is, though. Don't you feel like?
I don't know what he does when the lights off. I don't know.
But how about this? We've all dealt with mix and match. I know Perk and I have. Sometimes it's hard to give 100% when your body is not capable of what that standard is.
Are you a woman entrepreneur? Transform your business with our flexible loan program. Our unique approach to financing puts you first and provides expert advice along the way. You're worth the investment. Learn more at meetup.ca.
Oh guys, ito lang sa. Time is up. Thank you. Hope na-inspire mo.